Hey, this is Coach Cimarroni for Undeniable, and I have the magnificent Montana Moore here in her palatial studios.
Thank you.
On East 200th in Euclid.
Yes.
Thank you for having me in here.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me on your show.
This could be my new home.
All right. We hope so.
Absolutely. Well, I love this, and I'm glad to be able to interview you, and really what you've created is magnificent. And Montana, tell me a little bit about your history and what really brought you to this idea of empowering so many people.
Okay, so pretty much started back way long yonder, 1900 and something. No, just kidding.
Well, listen, I was born in the Stone Age, so don't worry about it. It's all good. You know, we were talking about that off air.
Right.
Yeah.
So back then, I was like helping people develop their corporations, but I didn't know what I was doing.
Sure.
I knew I was doing, but I didn't know that's what I was doing.
Gotcha.
So I was like, well, you should, do this. My brothers.
Okay.
Do lawn or basically they watched me. So
Sure.
they always watched me like take, control of things. Like, don't take that, just start your own, create something and do it.
Kind of tell them what to do, but also what not to do.
Right.
Really important. Yeah.
So then speed up time from, back then to 2000 and I think it was 17, I was sitting in the house and then I already had my own business, customer service, working from home.
Okay.
So I was like, well, Lord, what do I do, with this? I don't know what else to do because I already had knowledge of creating corporations.
Sure.
I knew knowledge of nonprofit, but I never pursued it.
Okay.
And then when I was sitting there getting ready for work, I'm putting my little headset on, it was like blot. And I was like, blot. So I wrote it out, B-L-O-T. I looked it up on Secretary of State, and I was like, oh, somebody got that name. So I'm just hearing stuff.
Okay.
Next thing I know is blot, 2 B's, 2 T's. So I wrote it down. I was like, that don't even make any sense. That ain't even spell right.
Right.
So then my sister came over that evening. I said, look at this. What you think about it? She was like, what does it mean? And I was like, and it said, building business leaders of tomorrow today. And she was like, oh, I like it.
Yeah.
And she said, if you don't use it, I'm going to steal it. I'm like, you is? I was like, how's that going to work? So since then.
Thanks, sister.
Right. Since then, it started developing in my brain of how it should be structured. So I had my own idea of doing like a mentorship or coaching, not mentorship, but mentorship and a like we do on stage, getting people to come and do their own businesses. And then it flopped. It was like,
okay.
And it was saying, okay, structure people's businesses, help them understand how it is, with the IRS wants you to be in compliance with, understand how to run a for-profit business along with the nonprofit, understand.
Sure. Yeah, nonprofit is definitely different.
Right, nonprofit is definitely different. But
a lot more regulations.
Right.
Yeah.
So, so people didn't know they wanted to have nonprofits, and they were sitting on these nonprofits, and they were making money, and they didn't understand some ramifications of the nonprofit.
Sure.
I had a guy that we went to school long time ago, high school, and I said, hey, I need you to come help.
Okay.
You know a lot about business, you know a lot about for-profit. Can you come teach the for-profit, and I'll teach nonprofit.
Okay.
So we got together. And
what high school was that?
Collinwood.
Nice. Railroaders.
Railroaders,
I love
yes.
it. Yeah, I got a lot of friends, a lot of coaches that graduated from there back in the day.
Right.
Yeah.
So we graduated from Collinwood. He became an entrepreneur. He'd been in business for about 20 years now, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But he has a financial firm.
Awesome.
So pretty much I was like, listen, I need you to do a presentation for me.
Okay.
And, he said, what you wanted to be about? I said, you got to get these people to understand money.
Yes.
Because
financial literacy.
Right.
Big time, big time. We need more of that, boy. Holy cow, yeah.
So that's the key thing they wasn't understanding is the money part, how to run a business. They would make money.
Sure.
But then they would spend the money on other stuff they ain't supposed to spend.
So you make 5 and you spend 6. Not good, right? Yeah. At the end of the day, not good, yeah.
Right.
5 is good, but 6 ain't good.
So we started doing the motivational speaking.
Okay.
And I say it flopped.
Okay.
So then I saw a vision, like this is the vision. You have to teach them.
Yep.
So we got a training program. They come in, they learn about, IRS ways of keeping in compliance with their nonprofit, how to set up their nonprofit, how to start the nonprofit, how to get grant funding, sponsorships, in-kind donations. No one never knew what these definitions meant.
That's brilliant. Mm-hmm. That's brilliant. Yeah. And there's probably a lot of role play that goes on in there too.
Yes, we do a role play at the last week. We do a role play for everybody.
How important is that? Right, getting them ready to do that. is also part of that process.
It's
too.
very important because some people book knowledge, but some people are visual.
Yes.
So we got to do kind of both, like visual along with book knowledge. Like we're reading it to them as we're playing it out.
Right.
And now they're seeing it like, oh, okay, so if I get in this situation, this is what I should do.
I like that.
Yeah.
So what's the eventual deliverable that you provide for these people?
Well, at the end of the training, they will have their corporations developed. So they sit in class and they pull up their laptops, and now they understand what a incorporator means. They understand what an agent is.
Gotcha.
They understand what a sole proprietor, a LLC, a S corp, and a C corp is.
Big
how
difference,
to create a trust.
Yeah.
Right.
Trusts are important too. You know, a lot of real estate now are in trusts.
They are.
You know, because of a lot of some interesting people out there trying to get into situations that they don't need to be into.
Exactly. So we kind of break that down so they can understand.
Sure.
If you want to go this route, here's some options.
Okay.
We also run a real estate class and a grant class.
Okay.
So now in the grant class, we have Ivan Kanar. He comes in and he's like, he has his master's degree at Case.
Nice.
So he comes in and teaches the grant portion, which is he has an excellent grant program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is a complete art.
Yes.
Yes, right.
And he's very good
to get those
at doing
grants.
it. Right.
But there's so many out there. It's unbelievable.
Yes.
You know, and it's interesting. My son went to Hiram College.
Okay.
And he has like 4 or 5 different ethnic backgrounds in his DNA.
Right.
And he applied for all these scholarships. He got like a Polish scholarship, a Ukrainian scholarship, an Armenian scholarship.
Okay.
Yes. And it was all writing. He got a degree in English lit for whatever he's doing with that. No, he's doing really well. But that said, so if you have that knowledge, there's money out there.
Yes.
Particularly if you're, got some gumption to go get it, right?
And the thing is, you can develop a nonprofit just under that literacy.
Sure. There you go.
Yeah, writing and reading, things
well,
like that.
It's interesting because when the public school system started, it was to get workers, not to make entrepreneurs.
Right.
That's why you never had that financial literacy within the high school milieu.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or the curriculum. And college... Sort of, right? Now it's really starting to pay attention because people have choices.
Yeah, because everything's changing now. A lot of people are waking up and saying, wait a minute, instead of working for someone, I can go and, work for myself, or I can hire people to work for me.
Yeah.
And then that way, it lessens, the time that I need to spend into a job.
Sure.
And I can go do other things.
Well, this is what Gary Vee is saying. He's saying there's so many options out there that's why you're having trouble finding workers.
Yeah.
And if you do find those workers, you got to make it that it's actually beneficial and that you care about them and that you respect them and you make it worth their while, if you will. So, and that's not happening.
And
That's not happening.
Because it hasn't transitioned yet because people are still in the old ways.
It's that militaristic, I'm the boss and here's
you're the
underneath.
worker.
Yeah, exactly right. And you have to have much more empathy, much more inclusion, and also much more glue.
Right.
It's got to be an organization as opposed to just a worker boss mentality.
Right.
I love that. So that said, you've got this beautiful blot, right? And I want to talk a little bit in the next segment, Montana, about who inspired you to do that, and then what you're doing with that innovative leadership. But we're going to come back after the break because we've got to pay homage to our sponsors who we love, who keep us on the air to do this and to interview great people like you. So we'll be right back with Montana Moore. This is Coach Cimoroni for Undeniable. Okay, now that's just a fake break. So you ready to get back into it? Okay. Yeah.
Do me a favor.
Sure.
Whatever you click in, you ring.
Oh, I rang.
Oh, that's his chair. It's
my chair. How about that?
Okay,
My hands?
sorry.
Okay, great.
Oh, no, it is a chair.
It is
it's
a
a
chair.
chair,
You want me to switch the chair?
No, we'll be okay, because I think both of them do that. I got to
Yeah,
Okay.
that's okay.
Right.
That's okay. Whenever you're ready, sir.
Oh, it's just recording.
Okay. It's Coach Cimoroni back with Montana Moore in her beautiful studio here, Euclid, Ohio. Montana, you really laid out a great platform in this inspiration, right? But there's got to be people. And that's what Undeniable is about. I started this with Blood Time, and Undeniable is about people that inspire others. And then what do you do as that inspired with that leadership and innovation? So tell me a little about some of the people that may have inspired you.
A lot of people have inspired me. Not saying no names. I just, when I first started, working for the boss.
Yeah.
I would be inspired by that because they would come in.
Sure.
Like I work for a doctor, he'll come in anytime he wanted.
Yep.
And long as he
Freedom.
Right.
That's
and
what money
then-
really gets you is freedom.
Right.
It's just
I had
a
to be
vehicle.
there. Right. I had to be
Yeah.
there at a certain time
Sure.
to get everything set up for him. And then I would see him, walk in. And I'm like, wow, I wish I could. So I had bought me like a little lab jacket, kind of looked like a doctor lab jacket.
Sure.
And I would be going into the room, and they would think I was the doctor, have my little stethoscope.
I love it.
And I said, hey, what's going on today? So they said, well, doc, and I ain't correct them. I was like, okay. And this is going on. That hurts. Okay, I'll be right back. So I was just getting the chart ready for the doctor.
Love it.
The
Love
doctor
it.
come in.
Yeah.
He said, I already seen the doctor. I'm good. She said, I'm good.
Oh, how
He's like,
funny.
huh?
What?
So then I would get fired. Well, 2 years after, but I did good work because
Okay.
it was very thorough.
Yeah.
And then from working from doctors to working at the hospital, I would design it because I would always love that when they came in.
Yeah.
You do this, you do this, you do this. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I would like, okay, I come in, you do this. I think you should do that. They was like, what do you think we should do? I think you should go down there. And I will always be running my portion, but when I wanted to.
Gotcha.
As long as it was done. So
Right.
I kind of snuck it around where I did what I wanted, and then
That's the definition of being an entrepreneur.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
I got
Yeah.
fired from that job.
Oh, it's okay. Innovators usually get fired.
Right. So I got fired
You
from
know?
a lot of. It was always 2-year anniversary. So I'll keep it
You
for
like
2
that?
years.
You like that 24 months and out,
Right.
right? I like it.
24 months and out until I said, you know what, I'm
You're a
getting sick
serial
of this.
worker.
And it inspired me because I said, listen,
Yeah.
instead of me working for somebody else, let me go ahead and do what I, seen others do.
Sure.
And I said, okay, I'm gonna start working for myself. Working for myself. It was a adjustment.
Okay.
It was something I was naturally doing, but I was trying to do it according to what I seen
Sure.
the other leaders do.
Sure.
And I had to make it my own.
I love it.
When I made it my own, then it came natural because different thoughts, different ideas started, pouring out. Like, you can do this, you can do that, create
Yeah.
this, do this, or give it to somebody else because I can't do it, but it's a thought in my head. I'm gonna give it to you. Let me see if you'll run with it.
Okay.
So I would give a lot of people different ideas and things to do, and either they do it or they don't. But
Yep.
I put it out there because I have to get it out. It's always running in my head, like,
Little trial by error.
yeah.
And then
Definitely a
baptism
lot.
by fire, right? Yeah.
Right, a lot of trial by error, but you don't learn
No.
unless you have a trial.
Well, the pioneer gets the scars, right? And
Yeah.
the arrows in the back. But the good pioneer, those scars heal and he never gets them again, or,
Right.
or she gets them again.
Right.
So that's the brilliance of that trial by error is to know what not to do.
Right.
Okay. And then teach that.
Yeah, because
Right.
it's definitely a testimony.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
when some of the next generation come in, you say, okay, these is what we learned not to do.
Right.
This is things we learned to do. This is working. Then they'll take it and they'll evolve it.
Sure.
So take what you have and then evolve it to make it faster or greater or better.
Well, that's really what social media is doing for everybody. It's
Yeah.
it's the global mind.
Right.
And so it makes everybody exponentially that much smarter or dumber, depending
Right.
upon, I got to use my navigation to get here. No, I can
Yeah.
get to East 200th Street. I know I've lived in Cleveland all my
Right.
life, so I don't need my navigation. But at the end of the day, it gets trivial things out of your brain and compelling or important things into your brain.
Right.
And then gets the master brain, right? So you can reach and grab from other people
Right.
and their trials and errors too. So I
Definitely,
love this,
definitely.
what you're creating. You're creating that ecosystem here, right?
Right,
With,
right.
with your people, you
Right.
know what I mean? So tell me a little bit about how people can reach you and
Okay.
what can they expect?
All right, so they can reach us on Google. They can Google us, or
Okay.
they can on the web, or they can go to our website. It's BBLOTT.org.
Okay.
Because we are a nonprofit organization.
Sure.
They can reach me by phone 216-815-7300.
Nice.
They can reach me at Gmail, blot.org, so BBLOTT.org.
Okay.
I'm sorry, let me start over. So it's BBLOTT.inc@gmail.com if they want to
Okay.
email. So
Okay.
those are all the avenues. Or you can come visit at 503 East 200th Street, Suite 103.
And you should, because
And
it's
Euclid,
beautiful.
yes.
It's beautiful
Thank
here.
you.
I love it.
Thank
I
you.
love this beautiful violet that we have in the background. And so what we like to leave the audience with, Montana,
Mm-hmm.
because we've just come out of this 2 years of insanity and really tragedy, you know, and it's been so tragic for so many people, both physically and mentally.
Right.
Psychologically. I mean, I coached wrestling through this. Oh my God, it was horrible. That said, leave our audience with some words of inspiration and encouragement, if you
Okay,
would.
definitely. So basically, if you're interested and say, hey, I desire to start a business, I've always wanted to start a business. We have like ladies that waited till they were like 60, 70, 80 years old.
Sure.
Starting something
Love
they
that.
always wanted to do.
Yeah.
I say pursue it, keep going, conquer the dreams that you always desired to have. Come to Block, we can get it out the table, and we can help you structure and develop it, and then you can move forward with it. But don't give up. Don't let it die with you, because we don't live, a long time.
Yeah.
So you have to pass that to your kids, your grandkids, your great-great-great-great-grandkids. Pass those business ideas, pass those tools along that you learned from your mother, father, great-great-grandmother, and get it up and going, whether it was cooking, whether it's sewing, whether it was, gardening, or whatever you have a passion for. Just do it. Don't let a job take all your time and not pursue what your passion is.
I love that. It's the Colonel Sanders story, right? 71 years old. How many? 27 failures, whatever. And he hits it at 71 years old. And now we have one of the greatest brands in the history of mankind, know. That said, all you people out there, be encouraged by this wonderful woman, Montana Moore. Seek her out at the coordinates that she gave you and visit her at 503 East 200th Street. I just love this interview, Montana. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. This is Coach Cimoroni for Undeniable. We are all blood, love to all.
Right. Whoop, whoop. Can I put my whoop, whoop in there?